Evening, all. Good evening, guys. How are you? How's everybody doing? Yeah, another day, another dollar, another live stream. You know me, I'm always at it. Always, well, try to be fairly consistent doing these live streams. So it's good. Got a good few people in already. Um, that's good to see. I just do what I usually do. Though I'll get the links there. But this was some stuff I wanted to get into with I want to get away from. I don't want to talk so much about Dan Wootton all the bloody time, but I was wanting to talk about this, about specifically to do with really what Morrissey was saying about Sinead O'Connor. One thing with me is I'm not going to pretend like I'm a big Sinead O'Connor fan, like many people are doing on social media, because that would just be not. That's just not right. That's quite insincere. Quite a few people have done that. And I'm not about that. I have to be honest. If I'm not a big fan of somebody, I haven't really followed somebody, I'll be honest. And she had the big hit, Nothing Compares to You. Would I say I'm a big fan of that song? Personally, no, but I mean, that's a powerful song, though. I mean, that means something to a lot of people. Cara, try to. But still, though, the one thing I always get from that, though, is that video. And they say that that video. I mean, that when you see the tears coming down her eyes singing, that wasn't like fake. It wasn't like somebody there just put an onion by her ear just before they were filming. It was like that was genuine tears. Those tears were real. And I don't doubt that story. The tears were real. And I always remember somebody in a talk show saying that, if you don't feel something along the lines of, they said, if you don't feel something by listening to that song, if you don't feel it, feel it in here, then basically you've never really been in love before. I always remember that always stuck out to me. You're saying Sinead is so cool, right? Love Madonna too. Well, I found out if I have a video of Madonna, you maybe want to check it out, Ewan. Dark Side of Madonna. But I was wanting to get into this stuff with Sinead O'Connor, though. But overall, guys, let me know. Give me your take on this. Overall, let me know. And even when it comes to Sinead O'Connor, let me know when it comes to songs and that. Obviously there's the one we all Nothing Compares to You, but other songs there that you'd recommend. Let me know. Take Me to Church. That was one, was it? I'll take a note of that. Is it just me, or did we mention Sinead O'Connor a few days ago on one of the live streams? Someone asked me about singers. Or was that, am I thinking Enya? Was it Enya? Someone brought up Enya. Is that what I'm thinking? Right. I couldn't remember exactly. I know for a fact we did talk about Enya. There's that song Meditation I've got a video on. Couldn't remember if we spoke about Sinead O'Connor or not, though, but okay. Link sent out. sang Mother with Pink Floyd. So one I'll check out. No, I've done a video on Madonna, Ewan. I've got a link to that. Just 1 second. I'll send it and I'll put it in the chat. I actually had to change the name of it from a Wootton to Madonna. When I put the Dark Side of Madonna, YouTube didn't monetize that. There's a link to the Madonna video. Check that out. Yeah, silly YouTube, eh? They're idiots, right? No worries, mate. So I want to get into this stuff about Morrissey. I want to go through the stuff that Morrissey said. I guess he's got a blog and a website, and he's blasted a lot. He's blasted the people that have been paying tribute to Sinead O'Connor on social media. So I want to go through this, and then I'll give my own take on it. So he said she only had so much self to give. She was dropped by her label after 7 million albums for them. She became crazed, yes, but uninteresting, never. She had done nothing wrong. She had proud vulnerability, and there is a certain industry hatred for singers who don't fit in. This I only know too well, and they are never praised until death, when, finally, they can't answer back. The cruel playpen of fame gushes with praise for Sinead today, with the usual moronic labels of icon and legend. You praise her now only because it is too late. You hadn't the guts to support her when she was alive and when she was looking for you. The press will label artists as pests because of what they withhold, and they would call Sinead sad, fat, shocking, insane. Oh, but not today. Music CEOs had put her on their most charming smile as they refused her for their roster of queuing up to call her a quote-unquote feminist icon, and 15-minute celebrities and goblins from hell and record labels of artificially aroused diversity are squeezing onto Twitter to Twitter their jibber-jabber, when it was you who talked Sinead into giving up because she refused to be labelled and she was degraded, as those who move the world are always degraded. Why is anybody surprised that Sinead O'Connor is dead? Who cared enough to save Judy Garland, Whitney Houston, Amy Winehouse, Marilyn Monroe, Billie Holiday? Where do you go when death can be the best outcome? Was this music madness worth Sinead's life? No, it wasn't. She was a challenge, and she couldn't be boxed up, and she had the courage to speak when everyone else stayed safely silent. She was harassed simply for being herself. Her eyes finally closed in search of a soul she could grow. As always, the lame streamers missed the ringing point, and with locked jaws, they returned to the insultingly stupid quote-unquote icon and legend when last week words far more cruel and dismissive would have done. Tomorrow, the fawning fops flip back to their online shitposts and their cozy cancer culture and their moral superiority and their obituaries of parroted vomit, all of which you will catch lying on days like today, when Sinead doesn't need your sterile slop. Morrissey, 26th of July, 2023. Wow. That's a lot to unpack right there. But one thing I would say, like in relation to what he was saying there, when it comes to in regards to all the people who are paying tribute online and social media, it reminds me of the title of a song that the rapper Biggie Smalls did. And the title is "You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You." Now, she hasn't actually been killed. It doesn't look like it. That that's what's happened. Some people right away when they see it, they read, "Oh, she's found dead at her home." It's a suicide, but I don't believe that. That's not what the official verdict, the coroner's verdict's come out that it's a suicide, though. I imagine it's going to be a few days until that comes out. But that thing, you're nobody till somebody kills you. Basically, you're not going to get all these romantic obituaries until you're 6 feet under, and that is true. It's quite sad that we don't give flowers to the people. The people, obviously people who deserve it. Why don't we give them their flowers, so to speak, when they're alive? We wait until they're dead, and that happens all the time, doesn't it? All the time. And what he's saying, I'm with him for most of it. I don't think it's fair to say that, like, I wouldn't tar everybody with the same brush. But I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, there was a lot of people. Let's face it. There was a lot of people on Twitter doing the whole RIP thing, and let's face it. I mean, there's probably a lot of people there that weren't even a fan of her music. It's not like they were probably by their albums. It's like they maybe they had back in 1990 Nothing Compares to You, maybe one or two of her singles, but they weren't big fans. They weren't like your ardent, diehard Sinead O'Connor fans. So I understand where Morrissey is coming from. Some people might be, I'm sure Morrissey, he's got a very loyal fan base, So I'm sure there's the type of fan that would agree with everything that he has to say. But then there'll also be the type of, I'm sure there's certain people out there that probably think maybe Morrissey is a bit of a dick. Some people have said his controversial opinions. There's maybe some people believe him to be racist, far right, some people call him. So again, I understand where Morrissey is coming from there. One thing I would say though with Morrissey is, Morrissey, you're saying, oh, where was everybody else? Well, my thing would be, and I don't know the exact connection and if it was a real relationship, a friendship you had with Sinead O'Connor. But then the question I would have, would be that, where were you? Where were you for her in her time of need? Were you there? Did you try and reach out? And again, I don't know the story. We might find out more as time goes on. But I'm just thinking, if he didn't reach out, then he's kind of in his own way up on a high horse there. And yeah, but that's a lot to unpack, and we can get through this. And leave your comments. Let me know what you think. But that's. Yeah, that was the thing, Julia Cass. I mean, I wasn't really into her music, and she didn't always come off the best way all the time. But she'd been through a lot, and that's something I'm going to get into that. With her upbringing, she had been through a lot in her life. Yeah, that's right, John. She was holed up in a motel in America asking for help. It was New Jersey, I think. Yeah, that's right. Morrissey spilling all the truths, Cara. Yeah. It was very direct to the point, I mean, when Whitney Houston died, what was Clive Davis and all those other executives doing, right? They were having there was an after party thing at the Grammys, and that's something I think I'm going to get in and probably do a separate video on that another day about Whitney Houston, her death. And then, her daughter as well, drowned in the bath. I mean, I don't know. We've seen that image before, with that song Britney Spears did. What was it called? Anytime, Every Time, I think. It was in 2004. But I did see that video, and it was hard to watch, John. That was bad. That was real tragic. Maureen had actually just a few minutes ago had sent me it on WhatsApp. Just 1 second, sorry. She was just, I mean, that's the thing. She was kind of just kicked to the curb. I mean, how is somebody who's, this is the thing, right? How is somebody who sold 7 million albums? How is somebody who sold 7 million? There you go, Maury. I was just about to say, we've just been getting into the stuff with Sinead O'Connor. Let me know your take on this and the stuff like Morrissey's comments. But that's the thing. How is somebody who sold 7 million albums, right? How is somebody who sold 7 million albums now at what she was 51, 52, staying in a motel and a cheap, crummy motel? Like, that's not right, you know? And again, I haven't been an avid follower of her, of her career. I think Nothing Compares to You, I'm guessing, probably just came out just a few months before I was born. I was born in December 1990. But it seemed to be that what screwed her over was that SNL performance in 1992. The SNL performance with the photo, Pope John Paul II, and then what did she do? Rips it up. I believe she was doing a cover, a Bob Marley cover, a cappella, and that very well might have been what killed her. After that, she was done. And again, you guys might know more than me. Some of you were around that at the time, but am I on the dot there, on the ball with what I'm saying? Yeah, fight the real enemy. Yeah, I mean, she was one of the few people that was outspoken about it, right? I mean, she was raised in the church, right? She was Irish Catholic, right? But she was one of the few people that actually said something, had the guts to speak out about it. Yeah, she ripped up the picture of the. Well, I mean, that was a strong image at that time, Julia Cass, right? When she did that. And then was it a day or two after, Frank Sinatra made a comment at one of his concerts that he would have like roughed it up or something for doing that. Joe Pesci later on said that she would have got a smack. I mean, this is what these men were saying about a woman, right? 31 years ago. I mean, could you imagine that happening today? I mean, there's no way that would be tolerated today, right? And obviously, rightfully so. But this stuff was getting covered up in the church for years and years. There's a major problem there, And again, I raised Catholic, I'm lapsed, I've been in church in years, but I have no problem saying it. There's a major problem there. But it can happen a lot. It's in Islam. Can be happening with Buddhists. I mean, look at the Dalai Lama, for Christ's sake, with that sucking that kid's tongue. I mean, there's some weird shit that goes on. Yeah. When she was in New Jersey, Maureen, was that just before she converted to Islam, right? Well, it's a funny one there, Julia Cass, because I saw a photo of her, shaved head, and she had like what you call, there's the hijab and there's other like the garments that Muslim women wear, and she was smoking a cigarette, which was well, that's a bit odd, but. Yeah, I was reading about that. Yeah, she got booed off stage. She couldn't do the performance, right? She tried to sing, but then she just left crying, right? Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking it was maybe just shortly before she converted to Islam. But looking into her background, right? So she's she was the third of five children. Her dad was a structural engineer, later turned barrister, and chairperson of the Divorce Action Group. And then her mother, she had married in the Church of Our Lady of Good Counsel in Dublin. But her parents, though, later on split up. And so, I mean, that's one, obviously, I didn't know that before, but it doesn't surprise me, being that, I mean, she's been married four times, four different children, four different men. These things, it seems to be a thing, doesn't it? It seems to be, you know, if you, I mean, I know this from people that around me that, if your parents have divorced, there is a very high probability you could end up getting divorced. That's just kind of, there's just that unfortunate, curse there. But it seemed that she had a real tough time. Just reading from the stuff here, there was abuse there that went on. Losing her mother when she was only 18. So just so many things there that, like you can kind of tell when looking at somebody, they've been through a lot in life. And that's definitely one thing that you can see with Sinead O'Connor. And some people would say, oh, well, shaved head, women shaved head, that's weird. But I think you can kind of see it with people, other things. There could be other indicators there. And so she had been through a lot. She's obviously suffered a lot. Androgynous, yeah, that's true, Joey Cass, yeah. All right, was it what religion was just a little bit different Catholicism, right? Right. Yeah, I think she had said that she was. I think she made a comment saying that she was like 3/4 straight, a quarter gay, Julia Cass. She had said that. She's maybe toyed with, I'm sure it was something she flirted with. And then obviously the thing about the shaved head, that did, because it's all about being different in the music industry. You got to stand out. You got to have a different look. And obviously, a woman with a shaved head, that was different. I don't think anyone else had that before. And but yeah, I mean, obviously she caused a lot of controversy. But I think a lot of people were there were a lot of people very upset about what she did at the SNL. So reading here, even Madonna had a go at her, criticized her for that as well. But it was the right thing, though. She did the right thing. She took a stand. No one else had the guts to. I haven't seen the photos of her when she was really young with long hair, John. And I've seen kind of documentaries like about like when it comes to like Irish music, Irish stuff, like on the BBC, but never. I don't think I've seen many photos of her when she was like real young with long hair though. It's weird. I see stuff though. I see stuff about the whole thing with Prince though, and there seems to be some different stories there when it comes to that. So because she has here, speaking about her relationship with Prince, she says that she did meet him a couple of times. We didn't get on at all, and they actually had a punch up. Says that he summoned me to his house after Nothing Compares. He summoned her to his house, and he basically said that he didn't like her swearing in interviews. She right there told him to F off. He then got quite violent. She said, had to escape his house at 5 a.m, and she said he packed a bigger punch than mine. Saying something here about a hard object was placed in a pillowcase after wanting a pillow fight. I think I've heard something like that before, that Prince liked having pillow fights with girls or something. I'm sure I heard that. I don't know, some weird stuff there. But then I've heard different stories. People say that that story isn't true, that didn't happen. Or later on, she came out and said that that was blown out of proportion by the media. But I don't know. Right? Yeah. Did they not? They not do a song? Sinead O'Connor, Shane O'Gowan. Hi, Finola. How are you? Just here. We're speaking about the what was Sinead O'Connor. Unfortunately, her passing was getting into what Morrissey was saying. Yeah, she made that quite clear that she didn't like Prince. It's funny as well. I think someone told a similar story about how she had a bad experience with Prince. It was what's the girl that did the song "Been Around the World" and I can't find my baby. What's that one again? Lisa Stans. What Lisa Stansfield? I'm sure I heard something. Not she'd had a bad experience meeting Prince. Oh, Sheena Easton the same. She didn't like Prince either. Okay, Teddy Hall, the specials. Yeah, I that's the thing. I mean, I heard Eurocast that she said on the Graham Norton show. This was like his Channel 4 show back in like I don't know, maybe back in like 20 or so years ago. She said then that the media blew it out of proportion. Um, Sheena Easton was in a relationship with him. All right. Yeah, Lisa Stansfield. Yeah. Yeah, Been Around the World. That's a pretty good song, in fairness, isn't it? Yeah, that seems a little bit weird, does it, Julius? I don't know. I mean, it, and then at the same time, I mean, if it's not true, you know, isn't that the kind of story? If it was untrue, that wouldn't Prince be suing her if that didn't happen, right? If none of it's true, wouldn't he have sued her over that? But I think she was also saying that Prince was into kind of some dark occult shit as well. I was reading that. I don't mind some of Prince's stuff. That would be fair. I like 1999. I really like that song. Uh, I Would Die for You. That's another good one. When Doves Cry. I don't know if I've heard that one. I'm sure if I heard it, I'd probably recognize it though. Probably wouldn't have pissed on her if she was on fire. Yeah, Prince was a funny one, but then he seemed to kind of really change his ways though. I mean, he went to converted to he became a Jehovah's Witness and yeah, like I say, 1999 is probably my favorite one. Da 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 da. Purple Rain album, right? Val Dunican was better than Sinead. I'm not familiar with Val Dunican. Dave Allen. Not familiar with Dave Allen. Yeah, Kiss. Yeah, Kiss is a good one. I do like that song. Dave Allen, Irish comedian. Hang on, I recognize him. I do recognize them. I think I've seen memes of him and gifs on Twitter. Saying he was a religious skeptic. He once said what you might call a practicing atheist. I'm an atheist, thank God, he would joke. I'm not really. I mean, I'm certainly not an atheist. I'm not a churchgoer, but everyone's entitled to their own, system. I'll have to check him out. Yeah, Dave Allen. It's probably those gifts you get come up a lot. He actually lost a finger, did he, John? So just a sketch, or I'll check out some of his stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, with Sinead O'Connor, yes. Yeah, so again, like I said, I wasn't really, I've never really followed her music. She was a little bit before my time. I wasn't going to do the whole rest in peace thing and like post a picture and do like this gushing tribute online. I think one thing that I would have said about her that usually the people that have got all this creativity and have a big heart, they unfortunately are the same people that that have a lot of demons though, and a lot of emotional baggage, and that's unfortunate. But that's just the world we live in. But I'm trying to look here because I don't think I commented on it, but I did. Yeah, someone said here, farewell to one of the greatest Irish musicians of all time. Sinead O'Connor had the balls to stand up and challenge the Catholic Church at a time most didn't. And that I thought was a nice touch there, because that's something I do respect, but it seemed that she paid the price for doing that though. Oh, he actually did. The guy Alan lost half a finger. Shay. Right, so did he get banned from the BBC because of the joke he made about the Pope? Was that the reason? But yeah, just looking at here from our discovery, Sinead O'Connor. So she had her first album, 1987, The Lion and the Cobra. It didn't seem to do much though. There was really obviously the 1990, that album, and that was Christ. That went number one. That was number one worldwide. I mean, gee, just wonder how much of that money she ever saw. So she had Mandinka, that went to number 17 in the charts in 1987. So she did there was a song there about MC Light, I Want Your Hands on Me. But that was really, obviously that was the big hit though. Obviously, Nothing Compares to You. She never really had a big hit after that. It was going to be so tough to top a song like that though, eh? Yeah, I mean, I suppose it depends, Finola, how, if it's in good taste, the jokes about the Pope. Yeah, because it was like number one everywhere, wasn't it? Nothing Compares to You. Looking here, Australia, New Zealand, America, everywhere. And then after that, she had The Emperor's New Clothes, and that got to 31 in the charts. It's quite a drop, isn't it? It's tough for her to. Just so many people, you have that big hit, and then that's all they're remembered for. And swearing as well, not just in religious sketches. All right, I see. Foggy Dew as she moves through the air. But that was one thing about the whole, all these people saying R.I.P. Sinead O'Connor. When I saw certain people that were doing it as well, I was like I know you guys, you just don't give a shit, You're just jumping on the bandwagon. It's fine. It's one thing, it's okay. It's okay when somebody's like was genuine a fan, and that music meant something to them. Like, I'm fine with that. But when people do it and they don't, like, they don't give a fuck. They didn't know about Sinead O'Connor, her songs or other stuff or other albums. Wow, I didn't know about that, Finola. Wow. Did anything come of that about get her raising money, or? You hear stories about George Michael, right? He would be like just cooped up at his mansion. He would be binge eating, and he would be watching TV, daytime TV, and if like it was like Loose Women, and somebody was maybe commenting about him, he would like right away we'd want to try and phone up and try and get on the show. Like he had, I don't know if that was some similar kind of thing where when you say call it manic, but where that just made me think of the stuff I heard about George Michael. And God, he was another one. It was real sad to hear about what he went through. Was it Christmas Day? He was just up. He was just in his car. He slept in his car. It was a bit different with George Michael because George Michael had the money all right because he was a songwriter, so he had the publishing. It was a little bit different though, him and Sinead O'Connor, but he had his demons though, and I'll have to check out that Dave Allen Julie cast to see overall, see what I think of him. Yeah, you're right about RT. I get that vibe of it when I've seen stuff on YouTube here and there with RT. I do get that vibe a little bit from them. Got banned in the 70s. Right. Yeah, not many comedians these days make me laugh, Julio Cass. Vanilla, too woke. RT, too woke. But yeah, so I wanted to get into the stuff about Dan Wootton, old Danny boy. So there's more stuff that's come out from the bylinetimes.com. And it was yesterday that they had a fourth part now. I wonder how many bloody parts there was going to be. I was only thinking there was going to be 3 parts. There's a fourth part of their 3-year investigation. And Bytimes revealed that the GBU's presenter and Mail Online columnist, he used Use UK Cash, so the company, the Sun. He used the cash to pay male adult actors to secretly film themselves having sex with men he had targeted on Facebook. So just more and more stuff here when it comes to these catfishing allegations. So it gets into it. It says GBU's presenter Dan Wootton paid adult film stars to meet gay men he had catfished in order to secretly record them having sex. Wootton rented the Facebook profiles of at least 3 different male porn performers for up to £500 a time before posing as them and tricking his targets into meetings to be covertly filmed with cameras he supplied. At least one of these meetings took place in a hotel paid for by Rupert Murdoch's The Sun newspaper, which Dan Wootton was associate editor at the time. The journalist also charged a £1,500 porn star's fee for the private work to his employers Use UK, disguised as payment to a contact for a front page story about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And this was in June 2016. And there is a note here of an email, and it's 10th of June 2016, 11:57, and it's a dan.wooten at the sun.co.uk, and it's got hi, but it takes a note, it blanks out who the person who he's saying hi to. It says, I need blank out again, and it says, I need blank set up as a payee, please. He needs to put down £1,500 urgently on the Amber Heard splash from last week. Thanks, Dan. So there seems to be some notes, a couple of records here of emails, and then there's another one when with these guys that would go and film. He would get these adult film stars, and then they would go and they would meet, and then they would get hook up with a guy, but then they would secretly film it. And what Dan did then, he would book hotels where the meetings would take place. He'd book the hotel, and there was a Holiday Inn that he booked. This was on London's Commercial Road, which was actually close to his flat at the time. And there is an email here about a Holiday Inn booking. This was the 15th of June, 2016, 10:16. So this was just 5 days after the whole I need that set up as a UPE. And then there's a Holiday Inn booking. So I just wonder, with all this stuff here about emails and that, I'm just wondering how is Dan going to get out of this one? Is Dan going to claim that this was another thing, work-related, has nothing to do with this, about me trying to get guys to secretly film other dudes for sex? It's like, he can't really get out of this one. I can't see that happening. But again, will anything happen to him? I have to be honest, probably not. But again, I don't know, you guys seen this article already, but it's the Byline Times. If you're to Google that, and it'll go through all of it. There's quite a lot to go through. I'm not going to go through all of it now, but there is stuff there where there's an email, and it's Dan Wootton's old email from the Sun, and it was a Holiday Inn booking that he forwarded on. Countdown. It's funny you say about Countdown, though, Finola. An old maths teacher of mine went on Countdown. I remember. It was like the one time I actually bothered to watch it because I heard that he was going to be on. Dan would sell his granny like Piers Morgan. Yeah, probably would sell his granny. Met a good juicy story. Front page of the Sun. Yeah, I'm sure he would have done that. Oh, he definitely would have. He would definitely have done so. He would do that for sure. Yeah, who is it? Anne Robinson who does Countdown now, Finola? Is that right? Anne Robinson, Rachel Riley. Am I right? Yeah, that's right, Joe Cass. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever watched it. Very rarely. I mean, yeah, obviously, yeah, the theme tune, that one, but the guy Nick Dewar, right? That was on The Apprentice, Alan Sugar. He posted it for a while, didn't he? Yeah. I was never that into it. I never got hooked on it. You have to be a bit of a kind of I don't know, just the show was never for me. Yeah, it's funny, like our boy Maureen's gone, Cal. Hopefully Cal's all right. He's having a good time in America. Yeah, sometimes I get that thing when you haven't heard from somebody and you start to think, oh, where are they gone? What's happened? Well, all Carol Vortimer does is just incessantly tweet about the Tories now. That's all she does. I like The Weakest Link back in the day, Maureen. I'd watch that show. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, Divided Kingdom, Cali P. Joey Cass. I think it's like a summer camp or something, Maureen. Is that what it is? Yeah, Finola. There's a bit of a double standard there with Carol Vorderman. Eh? It's like, like when you had that woman was, I think, a Muslim MP that was like, oh, some sexual assault, uh, grooming gang victim. Oh, she should shut up for the sake of diversity because it was a Muslim, it was an Asian guy who had abused her, assaulted her, groomed her. And I just wonder, would Carol Vorderman condemn something like that a Labour MP said? Would she condemn that publicly? I don't know if she would condemn that. That would be the ultimate test, to see if Carol Vorderman does she really mean well with all this, or is she just full of shit and she just simply virtue signaling? Yeah, Maureen. So the Kevin Spacey stuff, yeah, it's a lot. And again, we might not fully agree on this. My view might be a little bit different from yours, but I can touch a bit on this. I haven't spoke about it yet. So this stuff with Kevin Spacey being cleared of all the charges. Well, first off, I mean, let me know what you guys think. What's your take on this overall? I mean, I've still got to do a little bit. Truthfully, I've got to do a bit more digging on this, Maureen. Maybe something that I'm going to do a separate video on. But I mean, I did come across something. So that with the accusers, there was I mean, there's said three of the accusers here. Three accusers died. They said one a suicide, one hit by a car, one the cause was unknown, and then a case in July 2019 was suddenly dropped. There was some, I don't know, just something about this has been very odd, and it seems to have been going on for so long. This stuff with Kevin Spacey. It's just weird though, the reaction as well to all this. I find the reaction to be very weird because I feel that the people who were kind of right away after all these allegations came out that were more or less saying Kevin Spacey, well, that's it, he's guilty, he's a sex offender. These same people now are all of a sudden, Kevin Spacey's not guilty, and they're all saying that's, innocent man's life, his reputation's been ruined. All accusers, they're just motivated by money. He was an innocent man. It seems to me that same kind of crowd, the people that right away were saying that they thought he was guilty initially, now all of a sudden they're saying, oh no, not guilty. I even saw a meme, 20 minutes after, a meme of Kevin Spacey. Oh, he's back now. It was like one of his characters. It might have been his House of Cards character. I was thinking, I don't know. Now's not the time to be posting little funny, silly jokes and memes. I don't know. That's what you would call something that's too soon, right? Too soon. But Penny Bunny spoke about him, right? Did she? What did she have to say? Yeah, that's what I thought, Maureen. Summer camp, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he more or less defended him, didn't he, Julia Cass, Elton John? I mean, what makes me think that, he was guilty is the whole thing about all of a sudden now he came out as gay after all the accusations, right? That was the thing that kind of like, oh, so he's now going to try and play the hey, don't come for me because I'm gay. If you come at me, then you're homophobic. That's how I saw it. Well, I mean, you don't know really. I mean, Elton John, all Elton John had to say was he couldn't really remember, right? That was the thing. It was so long ago. Well, that's the thing, Joey Cass. There is stuff there, allegations about Elton John as well. And it's you must have a pretty good PR firm because there's certain things out there that's been suppressed and very few people would know about. He looks like an Asian full scope. Oh, man. What a piece of work that guy is. What's that term, cottagen, Maureen? What does that mean? Reading about Kevin Spacey here, trying to say that his dad was a white supremacist and a neo-Nazi. He would call him the F word, which is very derogatory to the gay community. Yes. Again, the stuff with Spacey, I don't know. Just reading here about because it was an actor, Anthony Rapp, alleged that Spacey, while appearing intoxicated, made an advance towards him at a party in 1986. This was when Rapp was 14, Spacey was 26. So this was just, I think, after the whole stuff with Weinstein, right? This is the whole the Me Too movement kicked off. Oh, right, that Maureen. Yeah, right. I know about that. Yeah, I've heard about those stuff. That stuff, Maureen. Yeah, but I don't think it wasn't like George Michael denied it though. He was quite open about it, and even would joke about it. Have you heard that song that he did with Whitney Houston? Have I told you? That was like from '98. It's quite a good song, to be fair. I forgot about that one. I think the dude who produced it, Black Child, he was like the guy that was like producing Michael Jackson stuff at the time. I think he produced Dark Child. I think he produced You Rock My World. It's quite a decent one, to be fair, though. And then George Michael had the song with Mary J. Blige as well, the Stevie Wonder cover. Was it As? Yeah, As it's called. It's a good one. Space's fine. And it's yeah, well, I won't criticize him, Maureen. I mean, I might do a video. You might disagree with stuff I do, my research, but I'll again, for me, there's other stuff that I'll probably do videos and focus on. I'm still meaning to do a bloody Will Smith video that I promised, so I need to really start working on that. Interesting, Joe Cass, what you're saying. Right. Yeah, there's even stuff about with Prince's death, Julio Cass, there's something about he was found dead in an elevator, right? And Ellie Reid, the music executive, I think he was a judge in American Idol at one point. He had said that Prince, he found it very odd because Prince never liked elevators for whatever reason. He hated elevators. So to find out he was found dead in an elevator, that was very odd. Yeah, very suspicious though that with Whitney Houston, her death overall though, and then her daughter as well. Oh yeah, Prince was a funny one. Yeah. Some weird lyrics in one of his earlier songs, though. Prince had something about how he was had lust for his sister or something like that, like some proper weird shit. Like, well, maybe that's something that he got wrong, Ellie Reid. But then who knows? Maybe Ellie Reid knows a lot more than he's letting on. You know, I mean, and again, what there could be people there that know a lot about what exactly happened with Whitney Houston as well, though. You know. I think a lot of people. What was the verdict overall with Marilyn Monroe? It was suicide, right? But it wouldn't surprise me if she got bumped off. No kids, one died at birth. Yeah, that is sad, Maureen. Yeah. So with all the stuff that's been going on with Nigel Farage and his bank account. So you may have seen my post earlier. I said it was another one for the good guys because the Coutts chief executive Peter Flavel resigned. So the head of the private bank Coutts has been pushed out less than 48 hours after the shock departure of NatWest chief executive Alison Rose, as the storm over the mishandling of Nigel Farage's bank accounts continues. He was asked to leave by NatWest interim chief executive, who felt it was important to take action quickly. It comes as questions continue to swirl whether further heads could roll as a result of the scandal. And obviously, they've taken a big hit. The share price is down right now. So you're talking, imagine close to just a little under $1 billion's been wiped off the value, the market value of NatWest and the stock market. And this is the thing. I mean, I just make it very simple. I made a very simple point. Just stick to frickin' banking. Stop with all this woke inclusivity bullshit. And so this is overall. This is this to me is one for the good guys. But the thing is, this is just one case, though. It's not just Farage. There's been many people who have had their bank accounts closed down. It's not just Nigel Farage. And will we ever hear their story? Yeah, I know. I think it's like 39%. It's publicly owned, John. Yeah, you're right. Because Farage, he was interviewing someone like a single mother of four who's a businesswoman, and she had her account closed down, and she was just saying how much she was in fear. And she was saying, "Well, I don't know how you do have a bank account." She's saying, how can you exist? How can you live? She's got mouths to feed, four children. Um, there's a lot of different stories, things going on in the world, Julia Cass. I mean, so many things. It's hard for me to cover specific topics, and sometimes I was thinking this earlier. It's like I don't want to really do another like thing where it's mostly Dan Wootton. Like I want to talk about other things. And then there's the stuff with Obama's chef being found dead a few days ago. I mean, how is this not like front page news? How come the mainstream media have been quiet with this one? His personal chef is just found dead. God, it seems to be a real bloody dangerous gig, eh? It being a chef that you end up drowning. And some people, there's stuff out there that, oh, he wasn't a good swimmer, he could swim. But then other stuff, there's an Instagram video, he had an Instagram account posting a video of him being a real proper swimmer, but really good. But there was a chef. The Clintons had a chef as well. I think it was 9 years ago, drowned. Also, yeah, this woman Liz Wheeler says it's super weird that Bill and Hillary Clinton's White House chef died via drowning, and now Barack Obama's White House chef died via drowning. I'm not even a conspiracy theorist, but that's bizarre. Yeah, absolutely, it's bizarre. Like, what the hell's going on here? And Mr. Chef is named Tafari Campbell. It said his lungs yielded unexpectedly small amount of water despite being a drowning victim. Rescue crews were astonished by the relatively low volume of fluid that emerged from his mouth during the recovery of his body. Yeah, something weird about this, yeah. So, all right, Cara, were you around a few chefs that were alcoholics? I mean, you never know. He could have been drinking, could have been drunk, could have fallen in a river. Yeah, I mean, again, that's possible. Maybe that happened, but it seems awful odd, though. Poison, food taster, maybe they were just. I mean, these are like personal chefs, right? They're going to be around these people a lot, and they can just come in at a time where they hear something that they weren't supposed to hear, and at that moment, it's like, they walk in the room, they've heard something they're not meant to hear, and it's like, and obviously in the case of like Obama, Michelle, whoever, it's like, oh shit, are you gonna keep quiet? Are you gonna shut your mouth? So that there's that. Too much of a coincidence, though. I'm totally with you on that, John. Yeah. You're with NatWest though, Maureen. Yeah. Have you thought about switching banks with all this stuff? Michael's plumbing. Yeah, it's this. I'm just not sure what to think of that stuff with Michelle Obama. Was she a man? Is she a man? I mean, is there like childhood photos out there, Michelle Obama? Can you see photos of Michelle when she was very young, like 5, 6, 7? Is there pictures out there or not? Chefs drink seasoned wine. So they have no problem drinking on the job, the chefs, Cara. Oh, but the thing is, with this whole conspiracy theory about her, whether Michelle Obama's a man or not, there are photos out there that will make her look much more manly, right? And then you actually later on see the real photo, and you see that people have altered. It's been altered. Um, well, my bank TSB is quite shit, Maureen, but like it's not good though with crypto. You can't do crypto now in the UK. I don't know what it's like in Ireland or other places, but I think like the only two banks you could do crypto with were Nationwide and Co-op. But I think that's changed now, and I don't think you can do it anywhere now. There is pictures, right? I have to check that out. Because people, I mean, I've heard stuff before that when Obama talks, he's a couple of times said Michael instead of Michelle by mistake. I've heard that. I haven't seen the footage, but I've heard people say that. Yeah, I'm looking at young photos here of Michelle Obama. That's definitely that is a girl. That there is one where she does have very short hair though, very young. Looks awful tomboyish to be fair, but is this just a story now, Maureen, or is this an old one? Oh yeah, the crypto billionaire story. Yeah, that ring. Hang on, that rings a bell. Yeah, I think there's been a few different stories out of these crypto tycoons all of a sudden found dead. $7 ago, right? You got to watch with crypto though, because there is a lot of scams out there. You know, there's the whole what's the guy's name? Bankman Fried. There's that whole scam, that whole Ponzi scheme. Well, it looks like it's a Ponzi scheme. Fernando Perez Algaba. God, that's horrific, that. Chopped up in suitcase. Gee. Jeez. An autopsy revealed he was killed with 3 gunshots. Jeez. Businessman accused of fraud, 41 years old. Okay, if accused of fraud, but still, that does. Nobody deserves that. Yeah, you just have to be very careful with this stuff with crypto. It is a little bit kind of like a cult, I think. I think people expect that, like, they can put, they could put down like 500, £1,000 in a coin, and then it could shoot up, and they could be super rich. But it doesn't quite work that way. Yes, you can get those type of coins that can skyrocket, right? You do get that, but they're very rare though, and you have to be patient because you sometimes have to wait. I mean, it could take a good few years, but it could be anything from 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So you've got that patience in you. Jamal Kara, yeah, you're speaking about the journalist, the Saudis killed, right? That Jamal, yeah. Yeah, that was quite controversial, that stuff, and yeah, because after that, I mean, I know because I used to watch WWE, and WWE started. They formed a partnership with Saudi Arabia, and there was a lot of pressure on them to not do the show. To go out to Saudi Arabia and do the show. They were doing a show about a month later there in Saudi Arabia, and some talent refused to go. A select few, but others didn't. They did go, and they got the big money because, like, it was big money the Saudis would pay. You're talking, these guys would get, I don't know, they maybe have got a million, $500,000, $1 million for a match or something. Like the real top guys. And then it's crazy, obviously, what the money they're throwing at all these players now, right? I'd spoke about Kylian Mbappe before, but it looks like though he's turned that deal though, and what people are saying that it's really just Real Madrid. He just wants to go to Real Madrid. That's the team for him. Yeah, I don't quite understand cryptocurrency, to be honest with you, either, Maureen. I think for most people, it's just how they can get rich easily. Yeah. No, I haven't heard that about what you're saying about the Dubai poop chicks. Explain about that, John. Do I want to know about this? Don't need to know. I take your word on that, Cara, that I don't need to know. I've got a feeling what it might be, to be honest with you, and I think I may have heard about it before. Yeah, ignorance can be bliss sometimes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dubai porta potty. Yeah, I'm still not sure I want to know about that. Real bad fog. I don't think we're getting the sun back, to be honest, Cara. We're not getting the sun back here. I think it's gone just for now. But if Michelle wears the trousers in the relationship, right, Finola? Donald Trump's wife much more passive. Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, there can be that thing sometimes that women have. I mean, remember the inauguration? Remember how remember how mad Melania was at Donald, right? The look that she gave him. Remember that? And I think Bill Clinton was gawking at Melania as well at that inauguration. And then Hillary is looking at him like what the fuck? Like, oh God, Biden. Like, is it fair to say, guys, right? Fair to say, Joe Biden will go down as the biggest joke of a president in the history of certainly American politics. I don't know the whole world politics, but he will go down as the biggest fucking joke in the history of American politics, of all presidents, of all people who are in politics. He is a joke. She wiped his hand away, gave him a death stare. Yes. Everyone's different, though. That's the thing. I mean, I mean, again, I don't know. I don't really have much of an opinion on Michelle, but then, you know, the old saying, you know, behind every great man, there's a great woman, though, right? And I'm no fan of Obama. I don't think he's a great man. I think he's a snake. It was a lesser of two evils thing with me, Maureen. That's what it was. Yeah, he needs to be the old folks home, Cara. That's where Biden needs to be. Well, I mean, compared to Biden, John, he is a peacemaker. Like, absolutely. Absolutely, he's a peacemaker compared to Biden. Yeah, no, for no, we just were just because we happen to be speaking about to do with like getting into like American politics, the presidents or presidents' wives, whatever. Just because somebody said about Joe Biden, I just thought, fuck Biden, he is a joke, but it's like it's all good. I'm over that. I can't. I mean, to me, is he still going to be there though? But I'll have one little flash thing on Joe Biden. Is he still going to be there though when he's like 82, 83, 84? I mean, it can't happen, right? You got to go and get buddy Ron DeSantis in there, or Donald Trump, or maybe, well, probably not going to happen, but Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I mean, it's probably going to come down to one of those three, right? What else is Biden for another 4 years? Yeah, I know his mind isn't there for Noah. Totally. Robert Kennedy Jr. Yeah, yeah. It's weird because he came out of nowhere though, Modi, and that's what I find weird. It's like I didn't even know who he was until about 2, 3 months ago, and now he's everywhere. You see him in all the different podcasts. He's on Fox News. You know, and I generally didn't know him. I might have I heard of the name, but I wouldn't have known the face. Wouldn't have known what he sounded like. Um, he's been around for a long time. He was a environmentalist lawyer. 69, in good shape though. Good shape for his age. Looks good, but I don't know. I think you forget that he's running as a Democrat. That's the thing. I think because it's all the right wing media that's been paying attention to him. The left have been ignoring him. But back to your point where you were saying about Trump being a peacemaker, John, I would agree there. I mean, apart from the one thing, with Syria, that's the one thing there you could hold against them. But you didn't start any wars, though. It's just weird though, because I mean, it's really with Trump, his enemies, they want him in jail, right? With all the stuff, and there's all these charges he has, a lot of charges, multiple, talking a lot. And even if he's not guilty on most of them, almost all of them, they'll probably get him on one or two. Yeah, you bet that, Maury. Married to Cheryl Hines. Yeah, RFK Jr. You think of the China, the wrestler China, Cara? It was a black China, a reality TV person. Did he say it like that, Trump? if you spelt it like Chyna, China the wrestler, Trump. Well, Trump was a WWE fan, Cara. He is a WWE fan. But I want to leave a link here. This is to what my we've been talking about politics. This was a cappella I did. It's all bullshit, and I want to get like a video compilation of like clips of like people talk about in it. So you've got I mentioned about Rishi Sunak. I mentioned about Keir Starmer, Justin Trudeau, some other politicians. Boris, Donald Trump, and I want like a video there of like video clips of them to go with that rap. Again, I don't know if you guys do video editing or anything like that. You could take a look, give me a shout, let me know. If it's something though, or anybody that does video editing, let me know, because it's something I could do myself, but go out of my way and do. But it does take up some time. There's quite a lot of stuff I've got to get done. Obviously, stuff out with what I do here on my YouTubing, but it's something though. If anyone that does any video editing, take a look at that rap though, and let me know if video editing is something you do. Just give me a shout if you think you could do something with that. Yeah, well, that was the thing, didn't it? All that talk about Wuhan went away from all that, or just China in general. Someone came up on my Twitter feed. Somebody SNP are still hoping to get still looking for the independence. Oh me, you need to let that shit go. Yeah, China. But he generally like he spelt China Chyna. Did he do that, Trump? But yeah, Trump. He probably would have met actually China. Joni Lauder, the wrestler. God, she had passed away. I think that could have been a suicide about 7 years ago. All right. Well, to be honest, Cara, when I first saw China Chyna, I thought, why is it called? Why is it spelt like that? And China was a big deal back in the day. She was known as the ninth wonder of the world and very popular at one point. No, I know, I know Finola. I know. WF, yeah, bloody Klaus, Bonville, and Schwab. Like, I know. Yeah, Trump can be a bit sassy, Cara. I know. Oh well, that's good for Noah. Yeah, that's thoughtful. Yeah, but because you never know, how these things work on the good old YouTube, YT. Buddy Andrew Tate, though. Oh, I mean, Andrew Tate, there was some stuff about Andrew Tate on Daily Mail. Andrew Tate is going to be doing an interview with Candace O that's going to be out. I mean, I can't stand these long ass interviews that, I mean, it's hard enough for me to hear him talk for 1 minute. Never mind him doing a buddy like, three and a half hour interview. But I know what, there was some stuff there that, God, I came across it just before I came on here about these text messages being exposed by Tate to his followers. Where was it? Yeah, so it was Daily Mail. Andrew Tate discusses tactics on how to lure sex trafficking victims in leaked texts. There were screenshot messages. So some of the text messages, I have to find the date for that with the trial, Finoa, or exactly what's. But some of the stuff that he had said, though, he said to his followers, his avid followers, since she moved to Bucharest, she's been fed, but nothing else. She's broke, and she can't go home, and she can't leave the house. Man, I almost sound evil, but I'm not. I'm a shepherd. You're never going back to your hometown even to visit without me. Understand? I'll do this for every girl I get to work if you guys see the value. You guys can use your bottom bitch to do whatever G is doing. This is about the maximum difficulty that you experience in the business. If we all agree on that, I'll give you a play-by-play of what I try. Yeah. This is what he was all about. I mean, this guy was a straight-up pimp, And all these people that try and glorify him and praise him, I mean, they should really be ashamed of themselves. It's pretty sad, and it's pretty pathetic. The Assange stuff, yeah. Don't know if anything's going to happen there with Julian Assange, though, right? All of a sudden, everybody's gone away. Can you guys hear me okay, or did it cut off? Is my mic not working? Or it's weird how almost everybody's vanished away. Or is this playing up? Still here, Kaya. Is it the ads? Maybe that's what's off-putting to people. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Just maybe give it a second. Maybe they'll come back. The English Scot, he did an interview with Andrew. Right, yeah, James English, Maureen, yeah. Well, he did a guy with that footballer David Goodwillie, who what happened with him was that a woman in 2012 had accused him and another footballer of rape, and at first it was dropped. It was dropped as a criminal case, but then it became a civil case. And the woman took civil action in 2016. It's the two footballers, and they said, well, this was actually the first of its kind here in the country. Judge ruled that they had raped her, and they both had to pay 100 grand in compensation. So it didn't become it didn't become a criminal thing, but it became a civil thing. But there's that kind of thing of, well, people, speculating, well, did he not? It didn't become a criminal thing, but then it was different in the civil court. But yeah, but James English, though, he's another one. He kind of came out of nowhere, didn't he, Maureen? And then he did an interview. He did an interview back in 2019 with Andrew Tate called "The Life of a Pimp." Watching the ads gives me more revenue. Yeah. Sometimes I wouldn't do it, Maureen, because I know that it can be a bit of a, putting them midway is a bit annoying. But it does generate a bit more money in me doing that. But maybe for the purposes of live streams, if that's a bit annoying, I don't have to do it with live streams though. But yeah, but as I say, yeah, James English was a guy came out of nowhere. I was reading at one point he was actually dating Kerry Katona. He'd actually kind of like, he's a former football player. Had later on, I think he was got into modeling. He was even speaking about he was wanting to do comedy. And then with what he did with his podcast, I mean, it really has skyrocketed. The followers he has and the views that he gets. I don't even know about the sister. Is that the sister that wants nothing to do with them? Andrew and Tristan. Yeah, his brother Tristan though. Tristan. I was thinking about this earlier about Tristan. I don't think Tristan like. I think if it was like if you ever got a chance to speak to Tristan, right? And you could say, and you said to him, God, your brother, he don't have to speak a lot of shit, right? And I bet you Tristan would kind of be like, yeah, I know, you're right, but it is what it is. And I think Tristan isn't as bad as an offensive with the stuff he says, but I mean, he's still bad because he's associated there with Andy, and, he's doing the same, dodgy, sketchy things that he does. I believe Tristan doesn't have one of the charges. He doesn't have a rape charge against him, but he has the other charges, in relation to human trafficking. But I mean, you've had to compare the two. I mean, they're both probably still scumbags, but probably Tristan's maybe not as bad. But he does pretty much just parrot most of what Andrew says, though. Well, I think that came from the webcam business, John. That's how they got all the money. There was stuff there about the webcam. They had a webcam business. There was apparently a crypto scam as well. Yeah, what was that kickboxing career that he had? But I mean, I think they even said that they were dead broke at one point. They could barely have enough money to get food. Yeah, I think that's Andrew Tate who's converted to Islam. I don't know about Tristan, but Andrew Tate is a Muslim. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to start just wrapping this up soon. But if there's any other comments, any other final questions, any other thoughts, just leave them. Let me see. This poop chicks thing keeps coming up. I don't know. I'll be kind of almost tempted to Google it, see what it's about. Yeah, Sinead O'Connor converted to Islam. Yeah, that's right, Finola. Yeah, There was actually a photo though I saw in the Islam like garments, but she was smoking a cigarette though. Had her head shaved. But she was still, I mean, she was still there wearing the hijab, wasn't she? Sinead O'Connor. I wasn't sure when I heard that she had converted. I wasn't sure. Well, how long? I was a little cynical, thinking, well, how long will this last? Yeah, no, thanks, guys. Night. It's been a good one. I don't think I can watch that poop chicks thing. I think I'm just going to leave it though. I think you're right, Carrot. I'm probably better off not watching that, eh? But yeah, you're right. She was a priest for the while. That was back in 2000, wasn't it, Finola? Sinead O'Connor was a priest. I remember hearing about that. But yeah, I'll take your word on it, Cara. I won't look it up. I won't. No, I bet it is. Right. Okay, so I'm just call it a night now. Next live stream, I'd probably say I'll be back Sunday evening. I'll maybe try and get it a little bit earlier, maybe around, let's say, start 8 o'clock, just 8-ish. I'll do it for. But again, another good live stream, and maybe I don't know the next one, but maybe next week we can do a few maybe ones fun, do a listening session, listen to different songs that we all like, something like that, or we can be specific genres of stuff. But I'll keep it interesting though. But yeah, but Sunday evening I'll be back though. I'll try and do it around 8-ish. That'll be my plan for doing the next live stream. But thanks very much, guys. So I'm just going to lie down now. My bad posture. It's my posh posture Cara talks about. I'm going to lie down now, get a cup of tea, chill a bit. But thanks very much, guys, though. So enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you soon. Posh posture for life. I know. But thanks a lot, guys. So take care. Night.